Africa, a land of vibrant cultures, ancient wisdom, and a spirit once unbroken. Yet somewhere along the path of time we strayed. The invaders came not just with swords and chains, but with insidious whispers that wormed their way into our very souls. Our traditions, our beliefs, our very identity slowly eroded, replaced by the doctrines of those who sought to dominate us. We traded the drumbeat of our ancestors for the clanging of church bells and the mournful call to prayer. The stories whispered around crackling fires, tales of our heroes and our gods, were replaced by foreign scriptures. Our connection to the land, to the spirits of our forefathers, faded, replaced by the promise of a distant heaven. We became strangers in our own land, our heritage buried under layers of imposed beliefs. Before the ships sailed from distant shores, before the camels traversed the desert sands, we were a people with our own faiths, our own ways of communing with the divine. We did not know the prophets of the East nor the Son of God from the West. Our spirituality was woven into the fabric of our lives, a tapestry of reverence for nature, respect for ancestors, and a deep-seated belief in the power of community.
Then came the invaders, cloaked in piety, bearing scriptures and promises of salvation. They offered a different path to the divine, one paved with the doctrines of their distant lands. They spoke of original sin, of a vengeful God, of a heaven earned through adherence to their teachings. Slowly, subtly, they chipped away at our foundations, replacing our ancient beliefs with their imported faith.
Examine the denominations that dot our land, the churches and mosques that rise from our soil, and you will find a startling truth. They are not our own. They are echoes of distant lands, branches of faiths born on foreign shores. We have become consumers of imported spirituality, our religious landscape a patchwork of borrowed beliefs.
We embrace the doctrines of those who once sought to enslave us, who carved up our land and plundered our resources. We cling to their scriptures, preach their sermons, and sing their hymns. We have become spiritual colonies, our minds colonized by the very forces that sought to dominate us. Is this the legacy we wish to leave for our children? To forever be followers, never creators, in the realm of the divine?
Our ancestors understood the importance of balance, of living in harmony with nature and with each other. The principle of Ma'at, the embodiment of truth, justice, and cosmic order, guided their lives. It was a way of life, a moral compass that kept them grounded in righteousness and respect. They did not need a savior to absolve them of sin, for they strived to live in accordance with the divine order.
But the invaders brought with them the concept of original sin, the notion that we are inherently flawed, in need of redemption. This insidious idea eroded our sense of self-worth, instilled within us a feeling of inadequacy that could only be remedied by embracing their faith. We forgot the wisdom of Ma'at, the power of self-reliance and righteous living, and became dependent on the doctrines of our conquerors for spiritual sustenance.
The invaders understood that true control came not from brute force, but from shaping the way people thought, from instilling within them a belief in their own inferiority. The invasion of Africa was not merely a physical conquest, it was a subjugation of the mind. Section 5, Mental Chains.
We see it in the yearning for Western validation, in the blind acceptance of foreign ideologies, in the belief that anything African is somehow inferior. This mental colonization continues to this day. They use their religions as tools of control to make us doubt our own traditions, our own worth.
We have become addicted to the approval of our former oppressors, trapped in a cycle of dependency that prevents us from embracing our own power and potential. Section 6, Shepherds of Subjugation. Who are the gatekeepers of this mental prison, the architects of our spiritual colonization? They are not the missionaries from distant lands, but our own brothers and sisters, the African pastors who have become willing pawns in the game of cultural domination.
They preach the doctrines of our conquerors, reinforcing the chains of mental slavery that bind us. They promise prosperity in the afterlife, urging us to accept our lot in this life, to turn the other cheek to injustice. They preach patience, while our resources are plundered, our people exploited.
They are the shepherds of subjugation, leading us further astray from the path of self-reliance and liberation.
The time for slumber is over, Africa. We have slept for too long, lulled into complacency by the lullabies of our oppressors. It is time to shake off the shackles of mental slavery, to reclaim our heritage, and to forge our own destiny. We are a people of immense strength and resilience, descendants of kings and queens, of warriors and wise women. The blood of greatness flows through our veins.
Let us remember the wisdom of our ancestors, the values that guided them to greatness. Let us look within ourselves to the wellspring of knowledge that resides within our own cultures and traditions. We do not need salvation from a distant land, for we hold the keys to our own liberation.
Imagine an Africa where our children grow up immersed in the richness of their own heritage, where they learn the stories of our heroes, the wisdom of our proverbs, the rhythms of our drums. Imagine an Africa where our spirituality is rooted in our own soil, where we draw strength from the spirits of our ancestors, and where we honor the divine in our own unique way.
This is the legacy we must strive to create, an Africa that is confident in its own identity, proud of its heritage, and ready to take its rightful place on the world stage. Let us reclaim our stolen soul, rebuild our shattered foundations, and create a future worthy of our glorious past.
Look around you, Africa. Our land is blessed with an abundance of riches, from the fertile soils that birth life, to the shimmering gold that lies beneath our feet, to the vibrant cultures that color our tapestry. We have everything we need to create a prosperous and self-reliant future.
Yet we remain chained to the systems of our former oppressors, dependent on their aid, their investments, their validation. We export our raw materials at bargain prices, only to import finished goods at exorbitant costs. We allow foreign corporations to plunder our resources, leaving behind a trail of environmental devastation and social unrest.
It is time to break free from this cycle of dependency, to harness our own resources, and to build an Africa that is economically empowered and self-reliant. Let us invest in our own people, in our own industries, and in our own future.
Let us create a new narrative, one that celebrates African ingenuity, resilience, and innovation. The path forward will not be easy. There will be challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. But let us remember the words of our ancestors. A single bracelet does not jingle.
We must stand together, united in our purpose to reclaim our heritage and to create a future worthy of our dreams. The dawn of a new Africa is upon us. Let us rise and greet it with open arms and unwavering determination.